Hello, my beautiful human. Welcome back to the She Did It Anyway podcast. This is your shakeup, and we're going to get right into it. I know that you have seen me doing the most on social, and a lot of the questions that I usually get is, how do you plan your week? How do you stay productive? And what things do you do to actually do that? And since I like lists, I'm going to give you the top 10 things that I do that help me stay productive as a super busy entrepreneur, super busy mom, all the things. So first thing is prioritize and delegate. So I split this into two things. So I make a list, and you can listen to the past episode where I talk about like how I plan my exact week, but I make a list on Sunday of like the things that I'm going to prioritize for that week. And then in that list, I highlight the things that I need to do and the things that I need to delegate out. This took me a very, very long time to master per se, because it was really hard for me to delegate. I had this mindset where I felt like, oh, I can do everything. Like nobody's going to do it as much as I do, as well as I do, or care as much as I do. And although people that are supporting you in your big dream might not, they will probably not care as much as you do. You shouldn't expect them to. It's not their dream. And so understanding that and being able to delegate has helped me so much. On top of that, the second thing that I do is I automate everything. Every single thing is automated. From the second someone submits a form, every email after that is automated, outside of obviously like anything that I need to respond to. My schedule for the week in terms of my social media posts are automated. Even like the systems of how to record this podcast, every single thing is automated. And I use things like, again, from email, social media, making sure that I'm on track of like all of the goals that we have, payments, every single thing is automated, contract sending out. And this really helps me, because if I am doing everything manually, it's going to be really hard for me to scale. And so I use things like Flowdesk for email, Zapier if I want to have two different platforms talk to each other, and we can get really like tech nerdy because I love tech. So DM me if you have questions in terms of automation. The third thing is I make sure that I have time management tools that I do. So one of the things that I like to do is the Pomodoro method. So I use the YouTube video it's like a 25-minute like silent sound. It's like one sound that really helps me. And then I take breaks, I walk away, and then I come do it again. So deep work for shorter periods of time, 25 to max 90 minutes is really helpful for me. So those are like, that's one of the time management tools that I use. I also put my phone on do not disturb when I am doing deep work, and which we'll talk about it in a little bit, but like I make sure that deep work is different for specific days, and I have themes. So we'll cover that. Bundling up or like piggybacking, making sure that I am productive during that time, supporting the time management tools. I am constantly, so the fourth thing is constantly on airplane mode, and I'm making sure that not only is like I am cutting out distractions from my phone and like digitally, but I actually don't have notifications that come up for my email. I allocate time to check that. My desk is even really organized. My desktop on my desktop is really organized. The less distractions and clutter I have, the better it is for me to show up, and I don't feel as like anxious. The fifth thing is I'm very specific with the goals that I have, and I make sure that all the goals are very simple and also measurable. So in the show notes, I'll break down what a SMART goal is. It's like, you probably learned it in kindergarten, but truly like it is the easiest way to make sure that you're setting really clear goals for yourself, for your team meaning anybody that's supporting you in your business, but also in like your life, right? So making sure that the things that I need to get done are really clear. They're really easy to measure. So I know what I can do better. And, you know, this is where translating failure into data is really important. So you can actually track it. The sixth thing is, which really probably should be number one, is my health. Taking care of my health. I always have water next to me. I am allocating time for working out. So even during the like Sunday when I sit down to schedule out everything, I make sure that I'm allocating time to work out, go for a walk, take a boxing class, yoga, whatever it is that I'm doing, even when I'm traveling. The better I feel, the better I can show up for everybody in my life. So that's really important. And including taking care of myself, sleep is very important to me. So I am a morning person. person. I get very tired starting at like 3:00, but really hit a wall at like 6:00. I'm like, can't wait until 8:30 to come. And so I make sure that I'm getting, 8.5, 9 hours of sleep. It's a lot of sleep, but it really works for me. And I naturally wake up really early, like 5:30, 6:00 every single day. And the good news and the bad news, like I wake up every day like that. The bad news is even if I go to sleep really late, my body gets up at 6. So getting really good sleep is really important. The seventh thing is making sure to say no to the things that are truly not aligned with what you want to do. I really struggled with this. And I know a lot of people will tell you to say yes to everything, especially early on in entrepreneurship. Well, that's also why there's a cycle of burning out and just like misalignment and confusion on like what you want to do and who you want to serve and how you want to show up, because you're just saying yes to everything that might not even be aligned with like your mission and your goals and the things that you care about. And so really making sure that you're saying yes to the things that you really, really care about. So if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. The eighth thing is I have tools on tools to help me manage all of the projects that we have. So I use Notion. That's a really, really helpful tool. Monday.com for another business that I have that helps me stay efficient. And so this really tracks like the progress of things. And so taking that SMART goal that we talked about earlier, making sure, okay, well, what's a project and what's a task? That's really important to know. Making sure that the project is like, you're not trying to like bang out a project in one sitting. That necessarily doesn't usually happen. Each project will have certain tasks. So you can then use one day to focus on similar tasks, which leads me to number 9, batching similar tasks. I batch content and themes of work throughout the week. And so Mondays are my admin days. So anything from emails to organizing to like writing my show notes for the podcast, anything admin internally happens on Monday. On Tuesdays, where I have all of my calls, my coaching calls, and I actually also record the podcast in the morning. So if you follow me on Instagram, I shifted this because I realized I was recording my podcast on Monday and it was simply not working for me. I was miserable getting up in the morning, like trying to get ready when I didn't have any calls or like didn't need to see anybody. So I'm like, why do I need to put makeup on and get dressed and all the things? And so I moved that to Tuesday. And so Tuesday I do all of the similar work. Like it's a lot of talking, from recording to having coaching calls, consulting calls, everything that needs me to really put a lot of energy out there happens on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays are all my content days. So like content creation and marketing. And then Fridays are really where I recap everything and I follow through with like maybe some people couldn't get like meetings throughout the week. So then I can do that on Friday. So batching similar tasks is really, really important. So that way you're not like writing emails one second, then editing pictures another second, and that can get really overwhelming. And then the last thing is, and this is my favorite, I'm constantly investing in masterminds and coaches and programs and going to like as simple as going to Hunts for, it's in Melrose here in Massachusetts for camera work. Like I want to learn how to use my camera. I want to learn how to use Photoshop. And so I think about different things that I want to learn and I'll take online courses for it, join webinars, I'll read a book on it. I'm constantly learning, and I'm constantly learning about how to be more productive. If you're not doing that, you're really setting yourself back, because there's so many people that they have different techniques, and it's so important to try different things and seeing what works and what doesn't, and just being open-minded and super flexible. So those are the top 10 things that I do to help me stay productive. Let me know which one really resonated with you. And if you start implementing any of them, DM me and let me know. I want to support you in making sure that you're as productive as possible. All right. I will see you soon. Bye. And don't forget, no matter what, she did it anyway.
You did it, Mom.